Hello, welcome to Talk Tuesday. I'm Susan B. Lochocki, running for President of the United States with the Green Party, and this is my Matter Studio. Welcome. Um, First, I'm going to say a few words and then I'll get started on my religion talk. The first word is actually, I should say the first sentence or two sentences. The Crusades are not over. Yes, the Crusades are still going on. And the people that we brought over from Africa, the African Americans, were Muslim. Now, I only recently found this out, and I'm also a little shocked. But with the concept, too, that the Crusades are still going on, part of the racial problem that is going on currently in the United States is actually religious based. It might not have anything to do with color of skin. So, I wanted to get that out before we go any further. And now, I want to talk about the real purpose of religion. So, the real purpose is belonging and togetherness. Finding your group of people, an ideology that you like, and sharing your life and enjoying other people's lives and life passages and big moments of life together. So from birth to becoming an adult, to marriage, to children, to doing things in the community together, to old age and death. These are all the passages of life that we all go through, and that is the role that religion plays, is helping us to mark the different periods of time we are in our lives. And it's also where we share our joys and our sorrows and our concerns, our good thoughts, and also seasonal celebrations. And this is all over. These are things that are done throughout most religions, I believe, throughout the world. So it's really a culture, friendship, togetherness. That's the real basis of religion. Then from there, things vary with the religions. Some believe that there's nothing after this life. A lot believe that this goal of this life is to go to the afterlife. And then there's all sorts of variations in between. So I won't go into too much of that, but of course there's people who feel that, yes, you spend this life getting ready to go to heaven or to paradise. And then there are people who feel that, this is actually, some people feel that, this is just one life and that we live many lives and we keep coming back and we keep coming back and we sometimes come back as animals and sometimes as humans, and it's a never-ending cycle of rebirth. So there are many different thoughts out there about what happens after we die, or where were we before we were born. And these are things that we will just never know. There are people who have died and come back to life, who tell us things, but who knows if that's just the brain remembering a story and replaying it, or if it's actual something. So that part's, hard to know. But with that said, what we do know is currently at this moment where we are and what it is to be alive today. And we all know that we have at least this life. Whether we have more than this life, perhaps, I don't know. But we definitely have this one life, and it's important to focus on it. So religion, like I said, brings people together. It's a bonding sort of thing. So in present day, it's really more a belonging and togetherness in similar thoughts and ideas and similar ways of celebrating life. And then also you have then regional differences, right? That have happened because the separation of the believers of certain groups of, like, say, Christianity. You know, you have your Eastern Orthodox Christians, and then you have your Roman Christians, and, you know, everybody has a different calendar, and then they celebrate things slightly different, and so on and so forth. So there are also variations within the same religion. I'm going to say, going back in time, you know, thousands of years ago, religion filled even more of a position than just togetherness with people and celebrating, you know, life moments, big life moments in a certain way. There was a time where religion was the law of the land. And in fact, in some countries it is still that way, although in the United States it is not. In the United States we have laws, and then we have religion. And the religions don't really dictate the laws too much. They have something to do, but they're not the same. And so we have somehow a division between state and religion. It's not 100% a clear cut, but it should be, in my opinion, because in the United States, not everybody follows the same religion. And if we want freedom of religion, which we do, it's one of our freedoms for everybody, then the government has to be free of any religion so that then everybody is really free to practice their religion the way that they want. Yeah. With that said, in the United States, the laws of the United States outweigh any laws in a religion. So there are laws that the United States has that might not fulfill or agree completely with your religion, but you are allowed to practice your religion as long as you don't break any civil laws. So there is again, you know, a fine line between where religion and where practice of it comes. Because again, your religion might not be your neighbor's religion, and so you have no right to impose your religion on your neighbor. So, so in the very distant past, it used to be law. Probably also it was more law for the traveling people, like the traveling tribes of religious groups, maybe. And then also it answered a lot of questions about science, you know. It used to be the science. But now we actually have science, and we're learning a lot. We don't know everything yet. So there's this sort of back and forth between who's right, religion or science. And sometimes they mix, you know. Sometimes they do mix a little too. So that can also be. It also, the religion used to serve as a way to understand life, and also a way to control behavior and to raise people to be in a certain way. Yeah, so ultimately, when you take a religion, any one of them, together and all their parts, what it does is religion creates a culture. But now, like I said, the Western Christian culture is different than the Eastern Christian culture. So they're also not even and not equal. Well, equal they are, even or the same they are not, because they have different ways of doing things. And then when you leave like Christianity and you go to Islam, there's also a diverse distinction between the different branches of Islam. So, ideally there's one core belief, and then from there springs these subtle differences, which sometimes they are accepted and sometimes they're not. But you do have to live side by side sometimes, so you have to decide if, what's more important, I guess. So also religion dictates motivation. And people can be motivated to do good, but people can also be motivated to do bad. And that's where terrorism comes in. And that's domestic terrorism as well as, foreign terrorism. Ideally, what it should do is nurture a moral character of good. I'm going to repeat that. Nurture a moral character of good. So that's the ultimate goal, I think, of any religion. And I think, it's important. Religion's certainly important. It has a lot of power to do good things. And then sometimes it gets corrupt, like things do. When you get, sometimes too much money, too much power, a religion, then corruption can happen. And, I think we saw that in the Middle Ages and during the Crusades, certainly. And, we still are seeing it today, unfortunately. So, but I think in general, religion is good. And if we can nurture good moral character and togetherness and happiness through religion, I think it's great. And since I am pro-diversity, I like to learn about different religions. And as you know, I was just last year in Egypt, where I learned about the Sunni Islam belief, and that was really, really fascinating. The year before, I was in Nepal, where I learned, I don't know what religion, they have so many that they practice there. Every day, there was at least one or two celebrations of something. So Kathmandu is an amazing place where a lot of religions come together. Hindu, Buddhist, just a breathtaking amount. And it was such a wonderful experience. And it really opened my eyes to life and to all the different possibilities. And the way people celebrate, something is so different from one place to the next, but ultimately not. Because, like I said, it comes down to belonging and togetherness, a common bond, and sharing life's passages. That's the important things that religion really does. So, yep. I don't know where I want to go now. Okay. I guess I'll do this part too, because we have a little more time. So, one thing I want to say is, I don't know if you remember me telling you that when Jessie was sick at the beginning, her first time with leukemia, the doctor here, he was explaining me, the situation and what we were going to have to do, and I guess I was asking a lot of questions. And he started getting concerned that I might be some sort of in a religion that doesn't allow operations. There are those religions out there. It's not, of course, mine, but some people are in them. And I guess the questions I was asking was leading him to believe that, I might be one of these people in a religion. Now, I believe it's Jehovah's Witnesses who don't allow blood transfusions and maybe certain other operation things. So he must have been thinking I was one of them, because he said, Mrs. Buchser, if you don't let me get started with treatment on your daughter, I can get a court order and make you do it, make you allow us to do this, because he said I can save her life. And so, when he said that, I was like, wow, first I knew he knew what he was doing. And then secondly, I thought, what was I doing to trigger that in him? But anyways, we got started. She's alive today, and everybody, she's happy and healthy. But then I was interested to find out about Islam a little bit. And apparently, doing blood transfusions is possible there, and giving blood is possible. And then some early abortions are acceptable in Islam. Whereas I believe in Jehovah's Witnesses, I don't think that they are. So it's just interesting to note the difference in the religions. And something to think about. So I'm going to stop here, and then I'll pick up the next one on harassment. See you in the next video. Bye.